used to be the fastest, editor alive on the upright moviola. Excuse me.
35 mil.
And 35 mil, and usually standing with my foot on the pedal.
Sure.
And
screen this size.
It's a tiny screen. And but since the advent of computer editing, I'm not so fast at that, and so I wanted someone to be my hands on the computer, and so there's this wonderful editor I now know who was a protege of mine, and I encouraged her to study editing and to become an editor. In addition to being a director, she had a master's from the Sorbonne in directing, and she went back and took a second master's in editing at the Sorbonne, which is very difficult. There's only 5 people a year that are taken into these programs, and then she started doing a little bit of editing, and I asked her to come and be my assistant in Los Angeles. She's from France, and she arrived, and we looked at the footage for 3 days, and we discussed, which moments would be in the movie, and I would say 98% of the time we agreed completely, and I don't know why, but I suggested to her that she put together a first edit of one sequence, and I saw what she did, and I said, "It's yours, you take over." And it's the first time I've ever done that.
And you don't regret it?
I should tell you her name, which is Céline Ameslan.
And you don't regret it?
I don't regret it because I found out that I thought I was a really good editor, but she's better.
Have you ever been fired from a movie?
I have been fired from a movie, yes.
And who would do something like that?
It was a producer named Michael Carreras, who had a company called Hammer Films, and I was hired to direct a movie called Shattered in Hong Kong, and I worked for about 3 weeks, and it was supposed to be probably supposed to be a 3-week shoot. But what happened was it was a co-production with the Shaw Brothers, and the Shaw Brothers had a big studio in Hong Kong, and the studio operated 24 hours a day, and they had a crew that worked around the clock on 3 8-hour shifts. And what happened was, because we were from, another part of the world, we weren't really, residents and knowledgeable about the system, our crew decided to sleep on our shift. And so I would get there at, a reasonable time early in the morning, and nothing would be ready, and people would be slowly waking up, and by noon maybe we would get a shot, and maybe not until 2 in the afternoon, and by then my lead actor was already drunk, and so that slowed us down, and it was bad timing. It didn't work very well at all, and somehow the producer used that as an excuse to fire me, the fact that we were behind schedule, but the reality was he fired me because we had a disagreement about how to treat actors, and we had a black actor who objected to some of the things in the script that were kind of discriminatory, and I agreed with him, and the producer got upset because I agreed with the actor and didn't force him to do certain things that he didn't want to do. I had been fired once before that, actually. No, I take it back, I was fired once after that. I was fired again off of a TV show by an actor who was the star of the show. And it was almost the same situation, that he was directing it. He would kind of push me aside and he would start directing. And Elisha Cook was one of my actors, and he came over to me and he kind of whispered, just, you know, don't worry about it, take the money and run. But I couldn't do that. Not that I wasn't willing to do that, but the actor finally just, you know, said, we don't need your services for the rest of the show.
You've made a lot of movies, and they're all movies that are not like movies that usually come from LA. There's always something extra in them, some sort of a dimension that sets them apart as a Monte Hellman movie. Can you define that certain something?
I think that, you know, what I'm trying to do usually is make what I think of as kind of studio, Hollywood, A movies on a Z movie budget, but the specifications are vastly different. You know, a Z movie is supposed to be such and such, and an A movie is supposed to be such and such, and so I'm making frequently movies where the producer thinks it's going to be an exploitation picture, and in my mind I'm making, you know, Gone with the Wind or whatever. I don't know. I love the fact that it's because this is my process. When I go to a movie, I begin to dream the movie, mixing it with my own dreams, and so I frequently, when I exit a movie theater, can't tell you what I've just seen because it's so mixed in with my own dreams. And I hope to kind of help the audience in that same process. So I love it when people see my movies and they have completely different ideas of what it is they've seen.
You want him to see your own dreams, but they've already have a maybe fixed PR relationship as to what the audience should dream. How do you work out that to get your movie made?
Well, I mean, luckily, even in the worst of my experiences, I've been able to at least put down, you know, on film my dream. And sometimes a producer will then come in and recut the movie and to fulfill, you know, to fit his ideas. And in every case that's happened, sometimes it takes years, but sometime down the road it will get put back because some exhibitor or some video distributor sees the value of the original concept, wants the director's cut, so to speak.
Or a festival.
Well, the festivals can't really, you know, go back and create an original version.
No, but they have a market. They create a market.
Yeah.
Could you demand final cut at the...
I've only had final cut once, and it was just a result of that particular period of time when the studios didn't really understand what was happening. They thought that there was some mysterious thing that filmmakers knew that they wanted to discover. So I had final cut on 2-lane blacktop. But a lot of my movies have been recut. Roger Corman recut Cockfighter, the Italian producer recut Iguana, but they were all put back. They were all, you know, reformed to the original director's cut.
So you had final cut in the event.
Ultimately, I returned to the final cut. Yeah. I think right now it looks like there are two audiences for my new movie. One is very young people, and the other is people over 60. The biggest theatrical exhibition of the movie so far is in a small community in the desert of Southern California, which is a retirement community. That's been our best run so far.
Which city?
It's Palm Desert.
No. Thank you.
Thank you.